vanachari. Jamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gaur Premanande. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Parivrajkacharya Dvande. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to the Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 24, Text 7. We will continue till 10. Asit atita kalpante. Asit atita kalpante. Brahmo naimitiko layaha. Brahmo naimitiko layaha. Samudro paplutas tatra. Samudra paplutas tatra. Loka bhur adayo nipa. Loka bhur adayo nipa. Asit atita kalpante. Brahmo naimitiko layaha. Samudra pa plutas tatra. Loka bhuradayo nipa. Bhante. Okay. Ashit, there was. Atita, past. Kalpa ante, at the end of the kalpa. Brahma, of Lord Brahma's day. Naimitiko, because of that. Layaha, inundation. Samudra, in the ocean. Upa apluta, were inundated. Tatraha, there. Loka, all the planets. Bhuyadaya, Bhu, Bhuva and Shva. And the three lokas. Nripaha, O king. Translation, O king Parikshit, at the end of the past millennium, at the end of Brahma's day, because Lord Brahma's sleep during the night, annihilation took place, and the three worlds were covered by the waters of the ocean. No purport. Next verse. At the end of Brahma's day, when Brahma fell asleep and desired to lie down, the Vedas were emanating from his mouth. And the great demon named Hayagriva stole the Vedic knowledge. Verse 9. Understanding the acts of the great demons, Hayagriva, the demon Hayagriva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hare, who is full of all opulences, assumed the form of a fish and saved the Vedas by killing the demons. There's a short purport. Because everything was inundated by water, to save the Vedas, it was necessary for the Lord to assume the form of a fish. Verse 10 with the purport. Tatra Raja Rishi Karshin Namna Satyavrato Mahan Narayana Parotapat Tapahasa Shaleshanaha. During this Chakshusha Manvantara, there was a great king named Satyavrata, who was a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Satyavrata performed austerities by subsisting only on water. Purport. The Lord assumed one fish incarnation to save the Vedas at the beginning of the Swayambhuva Manvantara. And at the end of the Chakshusha Manvantara, the Lord again assumed the form of a fish just to favor the great king named Satyavrata. As there were two incarnations of Varaha, there were also two incarnations of fish. The Lord appeared as one fish incarnation to save the Vedas by killing Hayagriva, and he assumed other fish incarnation to show favor to King Satyavrata. So it seems like there is two incarnation of fish avatar. It's very interesting to see Krishna, God, taking the form of a fish. I'm from Bengal, we eat a lot of fish. So this fish is not ordinary fish, because this is Bhagavan. So there are different incarnations of the Lord, unlimited incarnations, it's mentioned. Like the waves of the sea, that many incarnations. You cannot count. And there are primary incarnations of the Lord, like the Dasa avatar. And then here, actually within that Dasa avatar, there's also fish. You know, when you sing the song. So the fish incarnation, he himself actually showed when he first came in the water, he was a small fish. Then gradually started to grow. So big, because King Chaityavrata, he put the fish in a small pot, like a fish tank, and still keep growing. And so big, like in Bengal, they have like a pukur, ponds, where they keep fish. But not only fish, they wash their clothes and different things, wash their dishes and stuff. They swim in there. Sometimes the water is not very clean. But they have the pukur. Even if you go to Mayapur, if you go to the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there's a big pukur there, pond in front of. They said that was Lord Chaitanya has to take bath there. Even the Ganges was very near. But that's the custom. So anyway, fish incarnation of the Lord Matsya avatar start to grow and grow. So big, he couldn't fit in the pond. They had to put in the ocean. And even in the ocean it was not big enough. How big the fish should be. You can imagine. So the idea, the Lord appeared as a fish, it's mentioned here to protect the Vedas. These books are Vedas. Bhagavatam, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, they're all Vedas. Different types of Vedas, 4 Vedas. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a Mahapurana. The pastimes of the Lord is described in this Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means Bhagavan, the glories of Bhagavan. We can understand these things because we think Lord is ordinary, like a human being. So these things for us to conceive is very difficult. Bhagavan, how he can take birth as a fish, like you explained to me. So, like I said, Krishna, he can take any form. He is in the body of all the living entities. In the body of a tree, body of an ant, body of birds, all types of human beings. Why can't he be in the body of a fish? In fact, we are only moving because Krishna is there in us as Paramatma. So, he comes in different times. It's mentioned here, he came at the end of Chakshusha Manvantara, the Lord again assumed the form of a fish to favor the great king Satyavrata. And he came also to kill Hayagriva, the demon Hayagriva. So that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya dushkitam. Paritranaya, he comes to destroy the demons. Sadhunam, to protect the devotees, sadhus. Yuge yuge, he comes every millennium to protect his devotees and to protect the scriptures. They are great sadhus, and it's mentioned here, King Satyavrata. Those days, the kings were devotees. Nowadays, there's no king. But before, there was kings. Those kings were not ordinary kings, they're devotees. Like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, the great devotee, and Parikshit Maharaj. They're all kings. Even the Pandavas, they were actually the kings. They were ruling Bharatvarsh, Bharat Maharaj, Dasharat. They're all kings. They're great kings because they're devotees of Krishna. Raja Rishi, they're Rishi, saintly kings. So, Krishna, he comes in different forms to protect his devotees in different times and different planets and different yugas. There are different types of incarnations of the Lord known as Lila Avatar, Yuga Avatar, Manvantara Avatar. Lord comes in these avatars to perform his Purusha avatar. So he comes to perform his Leela. At the same time, he also protects his devotees. His primary reasons actually for his appearance is to protect his devotees and to associate his devotees. There are devotees everywhere, especially in the material world, because devotees go where there is difficulties. So there were that time, like here we have floods. Australia they have floods, Queensland they just had a flood. India also they have floods. It's not a nice thing, big floods, everything washed away. You can live in your home, nice home, at the window facing the ocean. You're sitting there, big wave come, buildings all washed away into the sea. So it's very dangerous, the water is very dangerous. I grew up in Mayapur, right next to the Ganga. Our home, we're in Santipur. If you walk just half an hour walk, or take a rickshaw, there's Ganges there. Very rough to swim in the Ganga. And I used to swim across, no worries. Small kid, we could swim across, because we knew the technique of swimming across in the Ganga. You can be an Olympic swimmer, you can't swim across the Ganga. But we can. So water can be very dangerous. And every year in Mayapur, there are devotees dying. They drown in the Ganga because they don't know. They think, oh, I'm from Australia, I can swim in the ocean, this and that. And they jump in, save me. That's why, a long time ago, Jayapataka Maharaj used to make sure there are devotees who are lifesavers. But they were useless because you have these lifesavers here, you can't swim in the Ganga. So he appointed me to take care. And so water, like I said, the water is very destructive. During the time of flood, everything gets washed away, including your home, yourself. No matter how expert swimmer you may be, you can't swim in the time of floods. And I was there in Mayapur, 1978, they had big flood. The water from the Ganga, they came on the first floor of the long building. You've been to Mayapur, the long building? The water's on the long building. We're like really enjoying, because we could jump from the third floor and dive, and we had so much fun, because you usually have to go to Ganga. The Ganges was right there, in the temple. So we would have a banana boat, you put the banana trees together, like a, stick through it, a banana boat, and we'd get across the long building to Lotus building with a rope, and supplies to bring for prasadam. We were very austere, there was no prasadam to eat. Every day we were eating khichdi, because there's no water to drink. You can't drink Ganga water, because it's very dirty that time. We were all getting sick, but we had a lot of fun. And so many snakes coming into the building. Every day we were killing snakes. We had a lot of fun. So, if you are a devotee of Krishna, you will have fun because you are associated with Krishna. So when Matsya Avatar, Lord Krishna came in the form of a fish, the devotees were very happy because they tied the boat onto the nose of the fish. Big, big boats, like we see the boats here. You can put your car, everything in the boat. These boats were bigger. Huge boats. You can put the whole city inside. You can't imagine. So, because Matsya Avatar, fish incarnation, he couldn't even fit in the ocean. How big it would be. So Lord comes to protect his devotees and protect the scriptures. That's why it says in the Bhagavad Gita, whenever it's lost, he comes to reestablish it again. That is his primary purpose of coming here. The Lord's coming here. Door's locked, you can't go out. Oh. Why didn't he lock the door? So, primary reason for Krishna to come here, so many people say, but actually his main reason to perform Leela with his devotees here. He's having fun. Lord Krishna was having fun in the form of a fish.
isn't it? We all go swimming. When the summer comes, you buy your shorts, you go swimming. I love off the pier there, if you know how to swim. I went swimming there one time with me and a few others. Namamrita Gopa, what's his name, Vivek, and Sudarshan. At the end of the pier, we jumped in, and our idea was to jump in and swim across to the shore. And Sudarshan was dying. He said, "Oh, help me." He couldn't swim anymore. Halfway he was gasping for air. "Oh, help me, help me." He said, "Sorry, we have to save ourselves. We can't save you." So we were preaching to him while he was swimming. He said, "Wow, you can do it. Be strong. Krishna is in your heart. He'll give you energy. Don't be a wimp. You are a good brahmachari. Be strong." And then he made it to the shore. By the time he got to the shore, he was totally out. So, Krishna also has fun swimming in the ocean. He doesn't need a swimmer. So he comes in the form of fish. And so, sometimes you see the dolphins. They're such good swimmers. People say these dolphins were this body surfer in the past life. They spend all their life swimming, and they take birth as a dolphin. It's not a good thing. We go swimming just for fun, for you, just one day, and then we come out, we come back here and do our services. But these people, they spend all day in the water. So at the time of death, they're not lucky enough to associate with Matsya-avatar. That's only devotees. So Krishna comes different times, different yugas. So this was in Satya Yuga, or end of dissolution. So there are different types of dissolution. It's mentioned the partial dissolution and complete dissolution. So the universes, they go all destroyed. It's mentioned that when Mahavishnu is lying in the causal ocean, from his body all the universes are coming out. We are within the universe, and within the universe there's a planet. We have these 14 planetary systems. We're in the middle planetaries. So that's why it's mentioned here, one of the verse, Bhur Bhuva Swa. Bhuva means the earthly planet. So in the middle planetary systems. And this planet is within the stem of the lotus, and this goes through the middle of this universe. So the universe is like round shape. But within it, there's planetary systems. And we are situating in the middle planetaries, Bhuva, Bhur Bhuva Swa. And so when there's partial dissolution, it's within the planet. Understand? This happened in this planet. And complete dissolution is the whole universe gets sucked in when Lord Vishnu is breathing. The whole thing goes in. So partial dissolution is mentioned here when Brahma is asleep at night. Because Brahma's day and night is very long. Who knows the duration of Brahma?
3.7
Huh?
3.7 billion.
Do you hear that? Billions. Exact number. Brahma's life. Huh? 100 years, but multiply by? That's 100 year our time. Brahma's time is how long?
4.17 trillion.
Trillion. So, and even one muhurta, one moment of Brahma is 1 year. Right? Just like look at it. Because when Brahma came, he stole the cows. Remember in Krishna book? He stole the cows and cowherd boys and put them in the cave just for one moment. Because one moment of Brahma is just 1 year. And so you can imagine the duration of Lord Brahma, how long it would be. But actually, according to our calculation, Brahma only lives for 100 years. There's the story of when they built the Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri, the King Indradumna, he was going to Brahmaloka to invite Brahma for the inauguration. And those days, in those times, like it's mentioned, the kings were great devotees. There was much interaction between the demigods and human beings, because the human beings were devotees. Demigods don't come here anymore. Maybe they come for the temple, but not in Swanson Street. Sometimes they interact with devotees. Those days everybody was devotee, Satya Yuga. So he went to see Brahma, and Brahma was having a shower, I think, somebody said. So he had to wait. And Brahma finally saw him. He was laughing at him. He said, the time you spend here, when you go down there, nobody will remember you, because it's millions of years have already passed. So when he came back, they can't even recognize him, who this Indradumna was. Everything changed. Millions of years went by. So then there was one bird, and he says, I remember you. You were the king, and like that. So demigods also, they have a different duration of time. I think they live for 1 day of our time is 6 months for the demigods. So if you go to heavenly planets, you give a lot of water, open hospital, you take care of people, you do punya, good karma. Then you go to heavenly planets and live for a long time. So by the time we die, the Kali Yuga, end of Kali Yuga, they will come back down here. Shine punya martha loka vishanti. Krishna says, if you go to heavenly planets, martha loka vishanti. You have to come back down here again. So it's not a good idea to go to heavenly planets. That's why Krishna discouraged us to go to heaven. So we should go back to Godhead, where you live eternally. The heavenly planets is not eternal. Sargaloka. So that's, Sargaloka is within this universe. Heavenly planets. So that's, there'll be also destruction there at it, when the complete destruction comes. Samskya? So the idea of us to understand these things, it requires knowledge that we have to study from the Bhagavatam. When we study the Bhagavatam, we know that material world and the spiritual world, there's a difference. Material world is temporary. Just like your own body. Our body is temporary. Our body is made out of earth, water, fire, air. But we put a lot of importance to this body. Just like our devotee Mataji passed away last week from cancer. Everybody crying and can't eat. And you know how many funeral I've done? I've done heaps of funeral. I've come so close to the dead body. But I'm not scared, because I know the body is already dead from the time you're born. When he's growing, so one time we had a child's body, now we have a young body, then one day we will be very old. So what happened to that child's body? So we are growing, the body is changing, but we remain unchanged. So when the dissolution comes, and it's the destruction of the universe, destruction of the body, but the soul will continue on. But this comes from knowledge. So, Lord Krishna came 5,000 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, and Matsya Avatar, millions of years ago, Satya Yuga. So the Lord is always taking His appearance. It's always this, some Leela of the Lord is going on somewhere in the universe, some planet. I was reading that the devotees, those who are devotees of Krishna, pure devotees, when we leave this body, we never go back to Godhead. I was surprised. Prabhupada said that. I forgot to take note of that where I read. So, yeah, back to Godhead. We go where the Lord is having pastimes. We join Him there. Because where Krishna is, that is spiritual world. No difference. Just like you go to India and you want to come to Australia, you go to Australian embassy for visa. So, in the material world, when Krishna comes here, that's His place of pastimes. You go to Vrindavan, Mayapur, that's His place of, where He performs with pastimes. That's like the embassies of this world, spiritual world. Just like this, our temple. It's different here. When you go out, there's a difference coming in here. So when Krishna comes here, doesn't mean He becomes one of us. Doesn't mean He's like an ordinary fish. And He showed that. Because that fish grows so bigger and bigger and bigger. They had to put it in the ocean, it's so big. You can't just eat fish because it's too big. Fish eat fish, I've seen the shark. Some fish, they have a huge mouth. All the fish is going inside. Up, it's all gone. So Krishna is so merciful that He even takes birth as a fish. He's so merciful. If I am God, I said, no, I don't want to take birth as a fish. If He had the choice, isn't it? Of course, He was a golden fish. Boar, incarnation as a boar, a pig. He has a tusk so big they can lift the planet with it, so big. There's no comparison. So I was chatting with somebody on the Facebook, and he was saying, why are you talking about Bhagavatam? Do you believe that God exists? I told that rascal, you have hair on your head. Do you know how many hair you have on your head? If any hair growing there, after some time hair starts to fall off. Do you know how many hair? Can you see it? Can you count it? The rascal went, shut up. So we don't even know how many hair on our head, and we think we challenge who God is. The existence of God. Can you see what's behind the wall? Right? When you look at the star, you have to have that big machine, binocular, a big one. We can't see with our eyes, naked eyes. Our eyes are limited sense of perceptions. We can't see these, eyebrows. Your eyes right there. And you say, Kaun Bhagwan hai? Show me God. I never saw my grandfather. Yet He exists. So many things we can't see, but yet we conclude ourselves that there is no existence of God. They say seeing is believing. You can't see many things. So this argument, seeing is believing, is nonsense. That's why you have to hear from a sadhu, hear from Bhagavatam, written by Vyasadeva. You have to hear from the Shastra. Prabhupada said, if you want to know your mother, if you want to know your father, you can go around asking everybody. No one can say who your father is. So what do? Ask your mother. Yeah. This guy is your father. Right? So Prabhupada said mother is Mother Veda, scriptures. Tells us who Krishna is, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You can take your head out. Where's Bhagavan? You'll never find Him. Trinarapi sunechena. You have to be humble. Humble than the grass. He was arguing and arguing, arguing. So at last I said, if you are proud, you have to first become humble. That's the qualification of a sadhu. The qualification to know the scriptures when Krishna is watching you, when you become humble. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, pridelessness. You have to give up the pride. So, Bhagavatam can be known to a devotee, one who is submissive, humility, thinadapisana, like a grass. People stepping on you. Oh yes, please tell me. That's why Arjuna said to Krishna, Shishyasteham sarimam tvam prapannam. Prapannam means I surrender unto you. I'm your disciple. Why? Because he saw Krishna, what he's saying is truth. He showed the universal form. He said, before I was thinking you are my friend. You are Bhagavan. You're more than a friend. So if you want to know Krishna, who Krishna is, you have to develop the character of a sadhu. The character is, primal quality of a devotee is his humility. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you should wear that verse around your neck. Sometimes devotees, people wear jewelry, diamonds and all this. But there's more than that, is the neck beads. So, not a question of challenge. To change our attitude, to change our consciousness, to change our mind, our lifestyle. Then Krishna will speak to you. He'll show you the knowledge. He'll reveal to you. By chanting Hare Krishna, it reveals. So if I say some ordinary people on the street, this Bhagavatam, Matsya Avatar, they say, what are you crazy? What's this? God comes in the form of a fish? What are you talking? Well, we eat fish, come on. How God will come as fish? No such thing. So you have to know that when we can understand the knowledge which reveals to us, because Krishna reveals that knowledge to us when we become qualified. When the Brahmana, Narada Muni, he saw the cobbler. And in India they have a lot of cobblers on the side of the road, under a tree, because India is very hot. So they set up a little table under the tree, so it's cooling. You don't need 5-star hotel. Sometimes people have like a lot of facility with big hotel. They can't sleep because they're full of stress. You can have a really good sleep under a tree. You don't need much. It's just cooling, hot day. So they have cobbler there. They're doing the shoe. And Narada Muni was walking, and he came across the cobbler. And he says, "Oh, Narada Muni!" Narada Muni is like a messenger. He goes back and forth, planet to planet, universe. He's always in touch with Lord Vishnu, Narayan. So, oh, you go see Narayan. Can you, next time you go see him, can you ask him how many days I have here, how long I have to be here when I'm coming back to Vaikuntha? Yeah, sure. Then a few minutes later, you came across a Brahmana. So, I'm studying the Vedas and everything. He said, oh, by the way, you're going to see Narayan. Can you ask him how long I have in this world? He said, yeah, sure. So he went to Narayan, and he saw Narayan. And he said, oh, by the way, this Brahmana, he asked how long he has in this world. He said, what did Narayan said? Anybody knows? Long way. It's like a long time. You're going to be taking millions of years. And then he said, you can tell him, he'll ask you what he's doing. So you tell him that he's putting an elephant through the eyes of a needle. That's impossible usually. but it is possible. Anyway, so I said, okay. And the cobbler also asked you how long he has. And he said, many years also, lifetime. He will come back after millions of years. And then he will ask you what he is doing. Tell him that he's putting an elephant through the eyes of a needle. So then, okay. So he came down and he met the Brahmana. He said, did you ask? He said, yeah. He said, Narayan said you're going to take many years before you can go, millions of years. I said, okay. He wasn't so happy. Then he said, by the way, what's he doing? He said, he's putting like an elephant through the eyes of a needle. He said, what? That's impossible. How can that can be possible? He put an elephant through the eyes of a needle. The needle is so small. So he was very angry. So Narada Muni left, and he went to the cobbler, the shoe cobbler. So how long? Did you meet Narayan? He said, yes. He said, he said you'll go back to him after a million years. And he said he was jumping in the air. So, he says I can go back to him after a million years. Yes, that's so nice. At least he got the confirmation. By the way, what's he doing? He said he's putting an elephant through the eyes of a needle. Wow, fantastic! Oh, that's so amazing that the Lord is so merciful and He's so full of skillful, and that's not difficult because I'm sitting under this banyan tree. This banyan tree is huge. In India, there's banyan tree. Have you seen? I haven't seen banyan tree here. They have these gum trees the koala bears sit in. Bushfire destroyed it. The banyan trees in India are so big, and I used to play in it. You can go in it, and you're gonna do a hide and seek. Kids play there because it's so big. And he said, this banyan tree, for it to come out in the beginning, it came from a seed. Originally, it came from a seed, this huge banyan tree. So what is it difficult? And he made this banyan tree. He created this banyan tree. So you understand? So similarly, and so I heard this, that in that time, no, actually, he said that Lord Narayan told him that all the leaves on that banyan tree, that many lifetime he has to take, he has to be there. So he said, wow. So all the leaves from the banyan tree fell off at that time. And he went back to Godhead. Understand? So Krishna, He can make it easy for us when we can understand the knowledge with humility. We take things very granted because we think I have so much understanding, I'm so and so. But then when you become a little bit humble, things will fall in its place. So the idea of the Lord appearing is also to teach us this knowledge that if you want to know me, there's a subtle meaning in that. Some people are going to ask questions. Why the Lord takes different forms? Why not? He can take any form He wants. He's Bhagavan. Why not we accept the Lord's activities as transcendental, respectfully, with humility? That's another aspect of understanding the Lord through the Shastra, through the humility, instead of questioning why and why. If somebody wants to serve me, they want to wash clothes and iron it, bring milk and food. It's very nice. So, wow, that's fantastic. Thank you. Somebody says, oh, no, this guy, I don't want to serve him. Somebody else can. So you can see the different aspect of your attitude. I don't want your come to me and iron my clothes and give me water and drinks. Somebody else will do it. Just the fact that you say to him, oh Maharaj, oh Prabhuji, how can I serve you? Can I massage your feet? Just the fact he may not want to do it, just this courtesy to say it. They say, oh, thank you. So we similarly have to develop that attitude, Vaishnava attitude, loving attitude. Understand? Oh yeah, the God, He doesn't exist. Calm down. First talk a little bit nicely. Let me explain. So you have to hear Suti Dhara. Let me see what this person has to say. Let me open my ears. Ah, I get it now. So you have to give him scope, some time for us to explain. But he said, no, go away. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. That's, you're never going to find. So that's why it requires humility. It's not like I'm humble, you are humble, oh yeah. It's not like an artificial thing. It requires understanding the Vedas. It comes from the scriptures. It's not that I'm a sadhu and I walk around, oh, rowdy. No, humility is there, but not artificial humility. Pride is there. I'm proud that I met Prabhupada. I'm proud that I'm a Hare Krishna devotee. I'm proud to be, people say I'm Indian. I'm proud to be Indian. Or I'm proud to be Australian. So you can be proud, but it depends where your pride is put to. In what context? You understand? Something you're proud to be. That is okay to be proud to be. But we know that everything belongs to Krishna. He created it all. So some people say, God doesn't have a form. What nonsense is that? You have a form and God doesn't have a form? Who created you? Understand? You come from your parents. Parents don't have a form, and you have a form. That's what it means. So Krishna created this universe. At the same time, He can destroy it. Pralaya. Pralaya means destruction. It's not that He brings a bulldozer and destroys it. Everything has a process. He has His ways of doing things. He can destroy it and create it. We put an atom bomb, nothing grows for a million years, destroyed. And Krishna He destroys, but everything is perfect in His condition. That's the difference. If you can create, you can destroy it. We destroy it, but we don't have the power to create. It's not that they have a factory where they're making souls. Atmak banana hair. They're growing hair in your head. They don't have a factory. They can make wig. You have a problem in the dentist problem. In India, they have that problem in your teeth. Everyone's crying in the village. There's no dentistry. All night. Very painful. But if someone can fix it, that's such a, you'll be so thankful to them. Isn't it? So thankful. So Krishna, He is that person who is giving us everything. And we are only destroying it. Our body is actually healthy. Actually healthy from the child. Just like, because we eat junk food, because we sleep midnight when we were supposed to sleep at a proper time, because we irregular lifestyle. And then if Bhagavan is there, if God is there, why He's creating problem in this world? We created the problem, not Bhagavan. He made it all perfect. I went to Vrindavan 1975, where you could drink water from the Jamuna River. You can see the sand underneath. Now, they have all the sewage from Delhi going into Jamuna. In fact, originally, everything was pure and clean. We made it dirty. So we bring on the problem. There's no problem. God, everything He created, at the same time, He can destroy it in time. So there's dissolution at the end of the creation. That's a different time. It's all mentioned in the Bhagavatam. So that dissolution is different. We destroy everything, but we can't create it. The soul, it lives eternally. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the soul is pure, cannot be touched, cannot be killed, cannot see naked eye. That is us. That is because that soul is part of Krishna. Because Krishna is Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam. He is complete and perfect and eternal. And we, the soul, is also eternal because we are part of that Supreme Soul, Paramatma, Super Soul. But right now, we have this material body that we are stuck in it. The body is giving us the trouble. So, kill myself. Atmahana. So many kids, so many people are suicidal. But this body belongs to Krishna. This body belongs to Guru. This body belongs to Prabhupada. You have to use this vehicle, this body, to serve Krishna. Then it's the proper use of yourself. So when Krishna destroys it, there's a reason for that. He comes here when the time is right for it to go. So when we leave this body, it's time's up. You have to leave this body. You can go to the hospital, you go to the doctor, they can't prolong your life because time's up. Just like when you make a car, it's designed for certain years. Unless you fix it, but it's going to fall apart. Similarly, the body has its time for it to go. Not that I want to live for hundreds of years. That is not the purpose of life, to live hundreds and hundreds of years. The purpose of life is to what we do while we are here. Our actions, our work. Is this for Bhagavan? Are we cultivating love for Krishna? Trees love, the trees, they live very long life. They're standing there. We are more lucky. We don't live for hundreds of years. This Mataji passed away at just 50. Back to God, oh, everyone's happy. We have a feast. And they go around morals every day. Oh. We all have to die one day. But the soul doesn't die. Soul doesn't die. You know? My mother left the body in Mayapur just 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't even get to see her because I was here, she was there. I go around the world. She said, oh, come, you're crazy, just come and live with me. That's all I have to do. I said, you're crazy, I'm going around the world, travel and preach. You stay here, you're going to go back to Godhead by living here. I'll go back to Godhead by traveling and preaching. Everybody has their job for Krishna. She said, no, bring me to Australia. I said, you're not stepping out of Mayapur. I made her stay there. Never want to bring her this Mlecha country. Let's stay in the Holy Dham. She lived there, and I got a message the night before, and she was getting swollen arm and stuff, and she used to cook for Prabhupada. It was initiated by Prabhupada. And they said, so I got a call, said your mother's very sick. She only have a very short time to live. So I couldn't jump on the plane because it's not easy. I didn't have the OCI yet. So the next day, she got sick the night before. The next morning, she died, 11 o'clock like that in the morning. She wasn't suffering every day, none of that disease. Very lucky women. And they burned the body in the Ganga. Well, we have to go to Ganga, it's right there. Throw the ashes inside the Ganga and stuff. All the brahmacharis, all Mayapur. So I was very happy that this happened in the Dham. So what is there to lament? Everybody has a time. And Krishna has his plan for his devotees. We come and go. But the thing is, we should not become attached to our body, attached to our possessions, our family, our children. We can become attached to these things. This is going to bring us back here again. So make yourself Krishna conscious, make your family Krishna conscious, make your children Krishna conscious. Live a very happy spiritual life. No one can be happy than a devotee. With material things, he cannot be happy. So when he understand Krishna's Leela, Krishna's pastimes, his activities, even as Matsya Avatar, he hear these talks about the pastimes of Lord Krishna and his pastimes with his devotees. This not some children's story, bedtime story. This is Bhagavatam. You can read, and the benefit of this hearing about Krishna's pastimes is it will nullify and purify our heart. Nasta parayasa padreyashu nityam bhagavata shevaya. Serving Bhagavatam by hearing it every day, regularly. Nitya shevaya. Nasta parayashu, or the misgivings in your heart will be cleared away. So how can you hear about some fish and then your heart's cleansed away? You go and ask fish, Lord Vishnu. You have to experience it by being here. Be part of it. In India, we buy honey, they said government seal. That's the worst one. You hear you buy honey, it's very nice. They're not cheating. Maybe they do, but I don't know. But if you really, Prabhupada gives an example, if you really want to know what the honey is, you can look at it, read the label, so many things, you can make a comment. Unless you drink that honey in the jar, open the jar and drink it, you'll never know what honey is. You have to experience it by attending the class, chanting Hare Krishna, associating with devotees, sadhu sangha. That's how you know it. Oh, forget about so many other things. You have to begin to hear Shruti Dhara. In Bengal, they have a speaker. It's called Shruti Dhara. You have to hear the Bhagavatam from a devotee. Who can explain it? That's how it works. Very simple. So many leelas, incarnations of Krishna. Basically, the Lord comes paritranaya sadhunam, to protect his devotees and to destroy the demons. Like it's mentioned here, come to protect the scriptures. Devotees are scriptures. Book Bhagavata, devotee Bhagavata. Devotees are just, they know knowledge as much as the books. It's all in there. They study the books. They hear about Krishna. So they're like books. Any questions? महाराज जी, कुछ प्रश्न है, माइक्रोफोन टू महाराज जी.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you were mentioning that like we should not have any attachments. So how should we not have any attachments and be completely detached, so that we can go back to Godhead? Because even if we have little bit desire, then we have to come back. So how to be completely free?
No one can be not attached. I mean, don't tell me that. Oh, I'm free from detachment. I'm like ekdam pure. Nobody. Maybe. I mean, I can't say nobody, but we're working at it. You have to be respectful. Oh, you look at you 10 kids and look at you like you. No, we have to know. We don't know. But the point is there. The philosophy is there to practice it. And we can be surrounded by wealth, but still can go to Krishna because we know this belongs to Krishna. It's our understanding is that the possessor. Krishna is the source of everything. So you can be surrounded by all the material things, but if we know it is Krishna's, then we're not worried. Prabhupada said, we can have a nice temple, all this. People have, they come to our temple, they see nice deities, temple room, prasadam, so much facility, but it's for preaching. It's not for us. We can be part of that. So when you can understand, when Krishna given to us all this facility, so you can serve Him, giving back. Just like the Ganga water in Mayapur. We bring the Ganga water in big kalash. They use that water for bathing the Lord. That water goes back in the Ganga. And the Ganga puja, they worship the Ganga with the Ganga water. Similarly, everything comes from Him and we give it back to Him. He is given to us to serve Him and it's for His service. The problem is we become attached, Maya comes, we think, wow, mera hai sab kuch. There's nothing wrong to have those things for use for yourself, but we don't become attached to it. So we become aloof from it. Now that we need our clothes, shirts, that we come to temple, dress nice, clothes, it's all service of Krishna. Nice food stuff offered to Krishna. If I am in the roadside under a tree, people will not come to mandir. So we have this facility, so people will become attracted to Krishna. That's the purpose. Yeah, Maharaji, man, we have our standards of our dress codes. Dhoti, sari, nice clothing, tilak, chadar. These are Vaishnava dress. You don't come in here like some street people, like Maharaji's, the young girls. They have their style of dress. Hair like, belly showing, stuff like that. So Vaishnava dress. This is to attract Krishna. Clothes nicely, tilak. So it's not that, but the point is, in the middle of all this thing, we tend to become attached to it. But if we can develop that knowing through knowledge, that everything is Krishna's. I'm using this body, Shishtasteha. I'm your disciple. Use me for your service. Not difficult. Just have to, every day we have to tell ourselves. That's why these stories are there. We can know that Krishna is so big. He owns the universe. We're in it. He owns us. When Mother Jashoda, he asked Krishna, open your mouth. You ate mud? Let me see. Krishna opened the mouth. He saw the whole universe, even herself. Everything belongs to Krishna. Even us is His. So that's what dissolution is. Everything goes back inside. You think, I'm the owner of so much land, so many houses. The whole thing goes in His body. We're not owner of anything. It's just illusory to think that. People driving nice car, like, I lived in Hong Kong many years. You don't need a car. Everything is so near. But people, so what do you get out of that? It's the ego. Oh, look at it, everyone looking. I have that. Pleasure is very limited. The real pleasure, the tangible pleasure, is when you can develop that detachment, that understanding, the knowledge. There's so much more pleasure. You see sadhu, a sannyasi, they don't have much, but people are so attracted to them because of their attachment, a detachment. They can give you knowledge that others can't. They have more valuable than just materialistic people have. Every day you read in the news, so many accidents, airplane accidents. Your modern development, failure. But if you have knowledge, Krishna is there. He'll protect us. Many, many years ago, in the 1980s, there was 10 devotees were going to Israel from Rome. This is true story. They were in the line to board the plane. A terrorist have gunned them all down. But before that, All the devotees, one said, I have to go to toilet. Another one said, I have to go to another office. Everybody has a reason to go somewhere. And there was one devotee in the line. And a terrorist gunned everybody down except that devotee. True story. So, if you're attached or detached, it doesn't matter. Krishna is still the owner. He takes everything away. And everybody asks, how can he still be here? Because he has Krishna. So the most valuable thing is Krishna. Not what you have, material things. That's not going to protect you. Only thing can protect us is Krishna. He's our real friend. Sridham. Real wealth. All other things are not wealth. Can protect us from the time when we are in danger. So I'm not saying give up everything. You have it, use it in Krishna service, but just that thing you have to know that it's all Krishna's. And not that, it's all Krishna's, let your kids run around, and run by a car. No, it's all Krishna's. Protect them, give them proper education, take care of them. Krishna's came into your family, like that. But ultimately, you know in your heart, it's all Krishna's. So don't be neglectful. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.